Marianne, you want to call the roll, please?
Mr. Kitchen, Ms. Fresco.
Here.
Mr. Jackson.
Here.
Here.
Mr. Welch.
Here.
Mr. Welch.
Yes, here.
Mr. Sim.
Here. Seeing that we have a quorum, being present, the first business before the meeting is to hold a public hearing on the budget, which was prepared in tentative form as set forth in the minutes of the meeting of the Board of Education held on July 9th, 2013. An affidavit and the certificate of publication was submitted by the Secretary of the Board of Education. Due notice has been given of the public hearing on the budget, and all other statutory requirements preliminary to the holding of the public hearing has been complied with. Copies of the budget have been given to the board and have been available to the public. Tim or Kevin, please present and explain the budget to the Board of Education and the public.
I'm going to defer this to Tim McGinnis to get into the specifics, but our final review of the budget and making the modifications and any corrections that needed to be addressed, including some of the additional staffing proposals that we'll talk about tonight in closed session, have been included, and it still puts us at a surplus of roughly about
$180,000.
$180,000. So I'll let Tim go into the more specifics.
Yeah, as was mentioned, we advertised the public hearing in the Landmark, and I talked to them today. They are circulated in both Brookfield and Riverside, so it's circulated throughout the entire district boundaries. As we mentioned, the surplus is $180,000. Some of the more significant items we added, including the items that we have tonight in the personnel agenda, we added 3.8 certified FTE. This budget includes salary increases for the certified staff, where everyone increased a step while negotiations are going on. All of the non-certified union employees increased 3.5% per contract per the 2013 contract. So everything is based on the previous contract while the board continues its negotiations on the contract for the next period of time. One of the more significant items that we've added to the budget is we're now providing food service for District 95. So there's an additional $215,000 that's added into both revenue and expenditures to cover the cost of the food service, and we have an additional $17,000 added into revenue that is a percentage that we're going to get based on the sales that they have with District 95. We increased our capital account for technology by $50,000. We've added money into the capital account for our operations to cover some of the expenses that we have. One of the primary ones is a $70,000 that's in the budget for a new roof. The tentative budget was presented in July and again in August with some revisions. The final budget that you received for this meeting, the general state aid increased. We had it at $712,000. It's been increased to $821,000. That's the final allocation that we just received from the state. So we will receive $821,000 this year in general state aid, which is a slight increase over last year. I think last year we received $793,000. Tax refunds are always a significant item in the budget. Those amounts have been kept the same as it have been for the past couple of years. We're hopeful again that obviously we don't have to refund that amount of money. We have $850,000 budgeted. Last year I think we refunded about $550,000. So hopefully we'll come in under that $850,000 number. This budget, there's no ERO costs. We didn't have any certified employees that retired under ERO, and it also doesn't include the insurance run-out claims that we had last year, which were about $176,000. In fact, the insurance premiums this year decreased a little bit because of our entrance into the pool with about 80 or 90 other school districts. Those are the majority of items. I think debt service is probably one other item that's decreased significantly because we're in the final year of paying off the working cash bonds.
So the taxpayers could expect to see a small decrease in tax bills come to the spring tax bill then?
Yes.
Okay. This meeting is now open for public discussions. All persons desiring to be heard will be heard at this time. Does anybody out in the audience want to discuss or present any comments on this budget? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing on the budget, and this is complete. With a regular meeting of the Board of Education will proceed. We are going to take a break for a couple of minutes and do something and be right back. We'll be taking a picture for the yearbook. All right? Thank you.